go.
Let's talk about some life things. Let's talk Formula One for a moment. I know I see you at the F1 events. We were at Miami together with Spence.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Spence.
Shout out Spence.
Who's your driver? Who's your team?
So Lando is my best friend in the F1 circuit.
Love Lando.
I will always have his back. Yeah, I love that dude. He's also super into DJing.
Yeah.
We've had some like 3-hour-long back-to-backs. This was crazy. Like this was, must have been Austin, I believe. Maybe it was Miami. I honestly actually don't remember where, but he did his race and then we met up for like a dinner. And then I was like, I'll find us a place to DJ. If you want to DJ, we can DJ together. So we had dinner and then we just walked back and started DJing for like a couple hours. And then we wanted to keep going. So we're like looking at shows and Deadmau5 was playing with Eric Prydz at this club. So we're like, well, we could go to Deadmau5 and Eric Prydz and like maybe DJ there. So we went there. And then Eric finished his set and we're like, is it okay if we play some music? And like, yeah, of course. So we just like took over and literally they had to kick us out. Lando would not stop like playing. He did not want to leave. So he's definitely got a passion for music, which is awesome.
Is he good?
He's good with a little guidance. I would say
a little Zedd help.
A little help. I think, when people aren't super familiar with CDJs, sometimes they, hit the wrong things. But yeah, with a little nudging can't fix.
Okay, well, what about you in an F1 sim?
I have been in a race car before. I've done the first lap, and I've never been more scared in my life than.
Oh, you mean the hot lap?
Is that what it's called?
The hot lap is when they do it with. Were you driving with Lando? Was Lando driving?
No, I was driving with Mario
Andretti.
Is that his name?
Mario? Is he in like
the legendary driver?
Yeah, Mario Andretti.
Mario Andretti.
Holy shit!
He drove me.
What?
And
do you know what kind of car it was?
I think it was a I'm spacing Indy 500.
Whoa!
And I've never been so scared in my life. First of all,
are there 2-seat Indy cars?
They make him for that lap.
Whoa!
Right, so he's driving and I'm right behind him.
Oh my god!
And
like you're in an F-16 fighter jet or something.
Dude, my vision was like everything was blurry because you think the roads are flat.
No way, huh?
You feel every single bit of vibration and your vision is super like blurry. And from my perspective, like I see the left turn and I see him turn way too early, but we're driving so fast, like perceptually it looks like forever away, but by the time you hit it, like you're already in the corner. I've never been more scared. I almost pissed my pants. And the nuance, the distance between the cars are so tight. And they are so in control of their cars. It's unbelievable.
They're inches away, centimeters away sometimes.
And they can control it at 300 kilometers an hour. I don't know.
Dude,
yeah, so I was
crazy you got
terrified,
to experience
but
that.
It was such an amazing experience.
Was he really old?
Yeah.
Did Mario Andretti drive you in an Indy car? That is the craziest thing ever.
And he was still so on it, and he wasn't messing around. He was driving. It's crazy.
What track?
I think it was in Chicago. I'm pretty sure because I played it was called Snake Pit. I believe that.
Yeah. That was for Indy 500 or not Indy 500, but
I think it is Indy 500.
Is that Indy 500?
I believe
the Snake Pit is there. Yeah. In Indiana.
Oh, sorry, you're right.
In Indiana.
It was Indiana. I mixed it up.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy.
That's so scary.
Scariest moment ever.
Amazing.
But amazing. I have so much love for, Drive to Survive is what got me into F1.
Nice.
I never cared. And I'm from Germany. We have Michael Schumacher and we have like legendary drivers.
So many.
I just didn't really care for it. I didn't get it. But after seeing the intricacies, after seeing the drama, part of me feels like F1 is kind of like a reality TV show.
Totally
a little bit,
series.
right?
Absolutely.
A little bit of it. But there are also these unbelievably talented drivers.
It's so crazy that you got to see that perspective of, the G's that they experience. That's
unreal.
You don't get to pull that many G's as a human.
Have you seen their necks?
Yeah, you have to do that. Or else your neck's going to snap off.
He makes fun of my neck.
Because
I have a tiny neck.
Yeah. So your neck, especially with being in a race car,
dude, I was
and they're pulling like 5 Gs on you. Probably.
Unreal. That was crazy. A crazy experience. I'm so glad I did it, but it was almost like when I jumped out of a plane.
Yeah.
Like I'm glad I did it, to teach me that I might not want to do it again.
Man, that's so crazy. Yeah, because if you're just watching F1 and you just see the sparks flying out the back, you don't realize that it's like that's them bottoming out, and their butt is like a quarter of an inch above that. And when they're hitting those curbs, so I was at which one did I do a track walk? I did a track walk in Austin at COTA, Circuit of the Americas, and that was when I realized how big the what do they call the curbs? I'm blanking right now. Whatever the rounded curbs are, but they're big. They're like off the ground. So when their cars go over it, they're like
on the side of the track.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know they're that high.
Yeah, they're high, dude. Like even if it's a few inches, that's insanely high for someone laying on the ground driving, right? Like,
have you seen how tiny their seats are?
Yeah, the seats are. I haven't gotten.
They don't have the Zedd chair.
There's no Zedd chair in F1.
It's a tiny piece of plastic taped together with gaff tape. And an engine having 8 billion degrees right behind it.
Right behind you. And then it's just like curled into your shoulders over the top. So gotta be so claustrophobic.
It's crazy. I mean, the whole thing is so fascinating. It's also the fact that they can have all this production, their cars, their lamps, their equipment, finish the race, pack it up, and be in a different continent within a couple days. And rebuilt the whole thing every week,
especially coming off of they'd recently had the Las Vegas Grand Prix, right?
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
In a triple header, and you go from Las Vegas to Qatar.
How?
Sunday, and you're racing nighttime Sunday night, and then you're doing media on Thursday in Qatar, which is like a day even in front of you. I don't know how they do it.
Their schedules are so like you think I have a crazy schedule, and nothing. Like I was going to meet with Lando, and he shared his schedule with me, and there's like the 10-minute breaks are penciled into the schedule. Like from 6:18 to 6:28, you have 10-minute window. It's like, I don't want to take your 10-minute window.
He's like, no, I'd love to talk to you and not think about F1 for a moment. Not have people asking him F1 questions. Is that a race weekend?
Yeah, it's always a race
weekend. They have
weekend.
so much media they got to do.
So much, it's crazy.
Sponsors.
That's why it makes me feel like you're you're definitely an athlete, but you have to do all these commitments.
Yeah.
So much media. I mean, I'm sure they're still filming the show, the Netflix show, because it's wildly successful.
And that's why you got Verstappen being like, fuck the media, I'm not even doing this.
He can afford to do it. He's that good.
He's that good. Yeah. Man, but Lando had a great season.
Amazing season.
Let's
so proud
go.
of him. I mean, look at where he was last year.
I know. McLaren's turnaround is insane. And for McLaren's, I know we're taping this on 2 days before Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, but they're going to get constructors. I'm
crossing my fingers.
You know it, dude.
Yeah.
And Lando's going to take second. Lando's getting second. And
I would love for him to.
But for next year, but even if Charles comes and takes second, which I don't think will happen, even the fact that he's getting third compared to,
True.
his last year's, but Lando's going to get second. But I'm so excited for next year for McLaren versus Ferrari.
Yeah.
Versus whatever Mercedes tries to
do. Ferrari's going to be crazy.
With Aston Martin getting Adrian Newey.
It's so much changing.
Bro, it's going to be
Is Verstappen still going to dominate? See, that's the crazy thing because they make these big changes to their cars.
Yeah.
Now, essentially.
Yeah.
And nobody really knows how it translates.
Absolutely.
And tiny little changes can change the course of the entire season, as we saw with McLaren this time.
Yeah.
They were struggling so hard, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, never mind. We did it. We're good.
And Red Bull was dominating beginning of season, and then all of a sudden they couldn't win a race for 8-10 races or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like, I know. And so now Adrian Newey leaving Red Bull, like the chief designer, moving to Aston Martin.
I wonder how that affects
That's
things.
going to affect Red Bull. Like, that's a huge hole to fill. That's your main guy building that race car. That's
also,
the main.
Ferrari's going to be so fascinating to watch.
Ferrari with Lewis Hamilton over there. Lewis, look, I have a Lewis Hamilton mug right now.
Nice.
Team 44. But Lando is my other favorite. I love Lando. I love the nice guys, man. I want the happy guys that are having fun. You know what I mean? Like,
I do too.
give me some personality, have some fun, make some jokes. Like,
so
that's what I like about Lando is like his goofiness, and then Lewis is more like he's holding that inspiring figure.
But I respect him so much. I mean, he's when it comes to like professionalism.
Oh yeah,
it's hard to find somebody more professional than him.
Yeah.
Even when people treat him unfairly, he will be so grounded. It's really inspirational to see, right?
Absolutely.
If you talk about not reacting, like one weakness of mine, and Dave and I talk about this all the time, is like we have a weakness of sometimes being emotional.
Yeah.
Like we're driven by emotion. My music is driven by emotion. It's hard to sometimes switch it off when it comes to business.
Yeah.
Right. And you look at him and he's like being cut off and crashing into a wall because of somebody else. And he's like, "Yep, mistakes happen." And you're like, "Fuck this." I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word, but
You can say anything. It's a podcast.
yes,
There's no
it's
rules.
I really commend how he can behave so rationally after such an emotional race. I mean, it's
Absolutely.
incredible.
Especially because he got ripped off. Let's be real. But I was there. I was at Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Oh, you were
I was
there?
there, bro.
Do you understand what's going on when you watch it, or do you kind of like
So
follow?
I was at one of the final turns. I forgot what number it is. Turn 18 or something. I was at the turn when at the very end when it was like Verstappen and
that was
Hamilton neck and neck.
Oh god, I was watching it on my phone. I had a show in Berlin.
I was that turn, bro, and I was in all Hamilton gear, and I was surrounded by a sea of orange Verstappen fans, right? And that whole race. I hope you're into F1. Okay, and that whole race was Lewis was up 18 seconds or something, killing him.
Yeah.
Crushing Verstappen. And then that whole bullshit happened. Latifi, get out of here.
Brutal.
The crash. And then, oh man, with the race director, let's get out. But dude, it was confusing because like, remember they had all the lapped cars bullshit was happening. So
yeah,
like,
it was confusing even watching it. Like, what is happening?
I was sitting here and
Because
then
they're making the decision as they're driving,
Yes.
right? The FIA.
They're
kind of
trying
like,
to- exactly.
okay, this, what?
And then they broke a rule. So I was confused because like the crash happened far away and we heard a crash and there's a safety car. And it was like, okay. And then there was like 6 laps of the safety car. I was like, this is a long time.
This whole race, watching on my phone at like minus 1,000 degrees because it was freezing outside, it reminded me so much of Mario Kart when you're in first. And then there's the blue shell. You see it coming. He's like, it's going to hit me. It's going to hit no one else. And it hits you in last second. You're second and you've dominated all race. It really, like, that's the best metaphor I can think of for that entire Grand Prix was like the blue shell.
Yeah, dude.
You get punished for being first.
For being first, man. Oh, yeah. So I had no idea what was going on. All of a sudden, right before the final lap, the safety car's there, and I see Verstappen up against Hamilton, and all of a sudden Ricardo passes because they let Ricardo and like one other car or a couple other cars just pass them, but not all the cars. So we were all like, "What's going on?" Because we're not watching on TV. There's no commentator.
That's what I mean,
can see
right?
The screen,
quite
but you
confusing.
They blast the commentary, but you can't actually hear it, especially where I wasn't at Abu Dhabi. At Vegas, I could hear it more. They did a better job at Vegas, but Abu Dhabi, I couldn't hear shit. So you're like, what the hell's going on? And then all of a sudden, last lap, they're like, final lap, and then they're racing, and then all of a sudden, Hamilton and Verstappen are like this, and Verstappen's in the lead.
Because he had new tires or something like that.
He had brand new soft tires, and Lewis was on like 30-lap-old hards or something, right?
I mean,
and all of a sudden, I'm
that's
like, what?
crazy.
I was filming it too, so you just hear me be like, what? No! What's going on? And then all of a sudden, they drive off, you can't see, and then you just see fireworks. And it's like, no!
Blue shell.
I have trauma from that, bro.
Really?
I can feel it still.
That must have felt so... That's another great example.
Yeah.
He was so professional about it. I was more mad at the fact that something like this could even happen
Yeah.
in that way
Yeah.
than he was, and he just lost.
Yeah, man.
What a pro.
Unbelievable, dude. How he could go through all that adversity, still get back in a car. I mean, he's about to race Abu Dhabi Grand Prix this week. How are you going to get in a car and race Verstappen again, like with that trauma? I have trauma from it. I'm not even, I'm just a fan. Like, if I have that, how do you feel, man?
With